Welcome to Sister Sessions, a podcast where two sisters on very different journeys explore what it means to live spiritually in today's world. My sister, Jenny Fairbank, is the co-founder and spiritual director of Wisdom Pathways, a yoga and meditation teacher, and a somatic healer devoted to guiding others toward inner peace. And I'm Susie Gustin, a mom of three, producer and owner of Red City Live Entertainment, embracing life's joys while searching for deeper meaning. Together, we have honest, relatable conversations about finding balance, purpose, and connection in everyday life. So settle in. You are exactly where you need to be. Welcome to Sister Sessions. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sister Sessions, Part 2 with Frank Vitale. I am Susie Gustin, and I am here with my co-host and sister, Jenny Fairbank.
Hello. So good to see you both.
Yeah.
See you.
And I'm so excited because Frank is our first guest in person in the Sister Session studio. Kind of gets a little shorter. So actually, let's start off with a hug. I'm so
good to see you again.
for joining us here live.
Absolutely.
It's amazing, and bringing your story to everyone is like so important. And I know for everyone that's tuning back into from part one, we don't want to leave you hanging. And if you are tuning in, maybe you missed part one, I'll just let you know that the last question we asked Frankie, he was getting into a story with us about his anger and how almost it was harder for him to get over his anger issues than it was to actually being addicted to drugs. And from there, he was explaining to us that yoga really helped him through. So the last question that I had for Frankie was, what is your practice for yoga?
Awesome. Yeah. So my yoga practice is, for whatever reason, I was drawn to hot yoga. I went to a studio, I believe in Bridgeville, a few years back, and it was good. And then I stumbled upon a studio right near Restaurant Depot called the Yoga Factory, which is a traditional hot yoga, 26-2 postures. And immediately I was drawn to it. It's 105 degrees. Same 22 breathing exercises, 26 postures, which I really like doing the same thing daily because you could measure yourself in what you're doing. And I'm super happy and excited. I just signed up for the teacher training next June to be an instructor. So I'm really pumped and excited about that.
Congratulations, that's huge.
And I don't know, Jenny may know, but I do have 150 hours teaching. Yeah, 100 in vinyasa and 50 in Ashtanga practice. So it definitely, and the reason I definitely want to teach this because it helped me out so much in every level of my life, and I decided I wanted to pass it on to others. So that's my daily practice. Usually I get up, I'll do a little meditation and do some light stretching, and then they have class. Fortunately, Yoga Factory has classes all day long, so I usually go to the 10 a.m. and then that gets done at 11:30. Then I shoot over, go either Restaurant Depot or right into work. So it's fitting.
Wow.
So, and I also do some 2 days a week, which also helps the anger issues. Foster Plaza, where the restaurant is now, they have a whole gym for all the employees of Foster Plaza. So, which not only me, I get to offer that to my employees as well, which is quite amazing and a nice amenity on their part. So with yoga, it just, like I said many times before, I was drawn to it, even though I didn't start really into it until about 4 years ago. And it's just the overall stress reduction, the relief. I go to a different place. And it definitely, not only, I do it more so for the mental and spiritual benefits now, and physically it's just a byproduct of it. But the main things I do, put it this way, my employees know when I don't go. Oh, did you go to yoga today? So, but yeah, and I'm a whole different personality. And even some of my employees are drawn. A couple of them have come to class with me a couple of times. So I know it works just by the way I present myself on a daily basis and being able to handle situations. So,
well, yeah, especially the restaurant industry. I mean, it's like, it's so fast paced, and there's no, there's no forgiveness really when it comes to the customer satisfaction.
It can be brutal. It can be very brutal. You know, it's just some people, and then I also know just from practicing yoga too, like, it's definitely, I do the best I can to satisfy the customer, but I look at it, it goes even deeper. Like, I always like, oh, there must be going through something to really make this big of a deal out of it. And then I get inquisitive. Oh, I wonder what it is. And I try to help them, and I even shoot a prayer to them, you know. So, yeah. But
I love that.
It's just so crazy me talking about stuff like this, because where I was 11 years ago, and then to say like I constantly pray, or you know what I mean, like I pray before every shift, and so I have a little routine. But yeah, it's just pretty wild, just how my life has transformed since quitting using and just finding yoga. And
can you picture where you would be if you, obviously you got to a point where you needed help, right? You couldn't function.
Yeah.
But had you just stayed and you didn't become like that to that point, but you were able to use and live your life, not in a good way. However, take using out of it.
Right.
If you were able to have overcome that and not hit rock bottom the way that you did, in which the story that you told us, do you think that you would be living this success differently?
If I didn't find yoga, oh, 1,000%. Night and day. I believe it was definitely, you know, there's no coincidences. And like, as I stated before, said follow the signs. And I believe that was a sign, having a hot yoga studio down the street from the rehab facility. Not even, it was a 5-minute walk or 10-minute walk, whatever it is, to now, where the way is everything's lined up. You know what I mean? And walking into the yoga factory, it was about 4 years ago, and I got asked to be on the board of directors for Yoga Recovery Pittsburgh, one of the co-owners of the studio. And it all went. Oh, I'm also certified Reiki 1-2 practitioner. Yeah, so I learned a bit of Reiki. So I'm just so fascinated by it all. So. Yeah.
And I have to say, Frankie, to have been able to witness you over the years change so much and expand, and it's beyond joyful to see this for you, and that we've known you since high school and seen your evolution is such an honor to witness. And that you know, I have, as you know, I've been teaching yoga for well over 20 years, probably 23 or 4 years. And over those decades, watching people come into, when I had a studio or when I teach classes wherever I've taught, see them evolve and not know why. Like, I feel different. Something about this brings me more joy, or I feel more peace. And every time I'm here, I feel this or that. It has nothing to do with anything but themselves. And because when you're moving your body and breathing in a certain way, and you're internally focused, and your light starts to expand, your inner light. And that happens, of course, in meditation. And a lot of times the yoga practice in this Western world has slowly brought people into deeper meaning of themselves, within themselves, and start to meditate. Like, they realize they need that, right? So you've had this beautiful trajectory that Susie and I both have been able to witness to some degree, and see your evolution. And over time, and this is for everyone listening to really hear this, because you don't have to go to an ashram or dedicate or be a renunciate or dedicate your life to any one thing. It is a practice of going inward in whatever way that is. I mean, yoga postures are a means to meditation. And so you could even do that through Tai Chi or Qigong. Those are also very beautiful energetic practices that then bring in your awareness deeper inside, and then begin to know who and what you truly are, that is beyond this physical form. And you're there, Frankie, and now you're drawn to teacher training again and more of that, because this is what we know as humans, what we crave, when we know something, when something brings us joy, we want to tell other people. We want to share it. Right. Just like when people go to your restaurant, they're like, oh my gosh, they start telling all their friends, go to that restaurant. It's so great. And then the word filters, right? Word of mouth. People want to share joy. And so absolutely. You have been experiencing this joy and this shift in you through the practice of yoga. And now you're like, I want to share my joy with others. I'm so glad you're doing that. And I think you're going to open up for people another whole light for people because of your journey and where you've come. I feel like it will give more permission for people that are more like, oh, I don't know if that's for me. Seeing you as a certain light, I think will really open up doors for people. You know?
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a population you're looking at in terms of teaching to teach?
No, definitely, obviously anybody, really anyone, this goes more beyond addiction because I think everybody it needs to be spiritual and improve themselves on a daily basis. And I think it's frustrating the world, the state it's in today. If any effort, like this is what I try to do on a daily basis. And if I just try to be better, I try to improve on the day before. What can I do to make this world a better place? Do you know what I mean? And I think if everybody just, whether it's open a door for somebody, hey, I love that pair of shoes, that could change somebody's outlook on life in an instant. That's all it is. And it's that simple.
And what you're talking about is sharing love.
Right. Right. And it just gets so frustrating to see the state of the world when it could be just as simple as everybody doing their part. Forget everybody else. No one's coming to save you.
Yeah.
Just what can I do to improve the world on a day? Myself, number one, and as a byproduct, the world's going to change. Mm-hmm. So I think as the more and more people do that, the collective's going to, like you said, and then it's going to take off. So
it ripples out. You take care of your consciousness and you are in a high frequency. We talk about this all the time on the show, that it filters out and it touches everyone in the deepest level, whether they're aware of it or not. And so we are changing the world. By changing yourself, you change the world, the universe, because it's all intertwined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I love the whole thing with you being so honest about the anger, because so many people have different levels of anger and snapping and all of that. And a lot of people say, I can't help it. I can't help it. I can't help it. And you can help it. Absolutely. Even when you're to the deepest part of being angry, you can help it. You have to recognize and want to help it. Not say, accept yourself for being that way, because don't tell me that it makes you feel good or it doesn't matter because you're fine, because you don't feel good. You don't feel as good as you could feel. Right. You could feel amazing if you worked on that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, there's a lot to say there. I mean, everything is a pattern of energy. And with anger is a pattern of energy, just like joy is, or any other emotion, if you want to call it. And patterns of energy get stored in our consciousness, in our field of our energy body. And if someone feels a lot of anger on a regular basis, what that's saying is that there's a deep patterning in your consciousness that is anger. And so what needs to happen is to uncover that pattern and release it and to move it out of your field. That doesn't necessarily come easily. It requires effort and attention and work. However, I have worked with people for many years on these things, and it does work and it can be effective if you put in the effort. And so it's really all about the patterning. And so that patterning may have become impregnated in your consciousness 5 lifetimes ago, right? You may be carrying that from many, many lifetimes ago, or it may have stemmed from this life for some reason, or has been exacerbated, has been exaggerated in this life. And so when anger comes up in your body, in your consciousness, you want to be aware of it and to work with it very, very consciously, which is not easy to do when you're in it. So you have to practice when it's easy, as one of our favorite teachers talks about, Asha. Practice when it's easy, right? You practice working with the feeling of anger when you're not actually in that rage mode.
What does that look like? Explain that.
Yeah. So say, you start to feel it bubble up even a little bit. And, or you want to bring it up consciously. What drives my anger? When do I feel angry? So say you're sitting there and it's maybe after meditation, or you're journaling, or there's time for yourself. I hope everyone takes a little time for themselves every day. And you sit and you say, okay, when do I feel angry? Well, I feel really angry when my kids don't put their clothes in the basket. I don't know, in the laundry basket.
Yeah.
And so you feel it in the body. Where do I feel that? I feel it right in my gut, and I want to just scream. It enrages me. And so you want to go deeper into that. Okay, I feel it in my gut, and I feel this anger, and it's starting to bubble up. What is underneath that? What is the truth of this anger? Is it warranted to be angry at the kids for this? Well, you can be frustrated. You can teach them and do your work with that. But if they're not listening, it really has nothing to do with them or anyone else. It has to do with you. And so you feel that anger, you acknowledge it's there, and then you say, can I let this go? Can I release this? Is this important to be here? Is there some action? Because anger to me equals, I don't like what this is. I don't like what's happening. I want it to be different. And it won't be different. And so I'm angry about it. And you can't change the other people. You can't change the situation. You can only change, as we all know, our response to it. And so you can move that out through the breath. The breath is a connection with our thoughts, with our emotions, right? So breath work is a beautiful thing. And you focus on that anger in the gut. Say it's in the gut. And you acknowledge it. I feel you. Are you warranted to be there? Do I need to take action in some way outside of this process to work with my anger? Like to talk with somebody about it? Can I move through it? And so with the breath, you feel it moving up and out as you exhale, and you imagine that it's leaving as you're breathing. With every exhalation, you're releasing, you're moving it until you start to feel a little bit of a shift in your body. You might feel, oh, I'm less tense there. I feel more relaxed. I feel less angry. I don't feel so angry right now. Okay, let's fill that energy up with something else. Fill that area on the body up with peace, joy, love.
Yeah.
Right. And then you consciously bring that in through your breath. And you notice, so if you did that every day, if you did that every single day for some time, you are working consciously with that energy patterning and you're breaking the system. Also, when you're in that practice, when something external comes and it creates that ping again, it might not be as big because you've been working with it. You're aware of it. You're like, oh, there's that anger. What do I want to do? I'm not just going to lash out. I'm going to take a breath, I'm gonna pause, and I'm going to see what needs to happen right now. Do I need to have a conversation with someone? Do I need to walk away? Do I need to deal with myself first? And I can imagine that you've had to go through all this, Frankie, with moving through your energy of anger.
Yes, definitely. A key thing for me was it's funny because I never thought I had an anger issue. My beautiful and wonderful wife pointed it out to me. She's like, you're probably the angriest person I ever met. And I was like, and I was like, oh my God.
And then we don't want to hear that from the people we love the most.
And I was like, you're right. And then slowly I started working on it, but it was just hilarious. She's like, you see? And I was like, wow. So it was just a powerful moment. And she's good for that. She's my balance. So she really can, makes me a better person. That's what brings out the best in me. Yeah. So I shortly started to work on it after, maybe immediately, but my key thing is becoming aware of it. And then I pause. The pause is huge. Sometimes I'll say, okay, go back to this in a couple minutes. And 99 times out of 100, I forget about it. because it really wasn't, it was either my ego was hurt or really was something insignificant.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So it's the awareness is key, in the pause and the break in between lashing out, because I would lash out all the time. And 99 times out of 100 I'd upset myself and it didn't feel good, whether I'd punch a wall, throw stuff, whatever. It yes, you release the energy, but as far as feeling good, at nine times out of 10 I was crying and apologizing to whoever, and then you feel horrible. You don't want to be like that.
Yeah, you're
Right,
living
and
on
here's the thing.
low vibration.
It's actually not releasing it, it's feeding it.
Yeah.
So anytime anyone allows that reaction to come through and you move that energy, you are moving energy, but you're not releasing it. You're just throwing it out and it's coming right back at you.
Yeah.
And it builds.
Yeah.
So
That makes complete sense now that you put it in that light. Absolutely.
it doesn't let your anger go. It actually says,
No.
yes, you have a right to be angry. That makes sense to me.
Right.
And until you have the awareness of it, exactly right. That's the first step. And you didn't have it because it was so ingrained in you. You didn't even realize what you were doing until your loved one, until your wife says, hello, you're angry. And you're like, what? No, I'm not.
Come
You
on.
know, and here's the other part. You would have, if someone would have told you that 5 years prior, you wouldn't have listened. You wouldn't have been,
No.
you weren't ready to hear it.
Right.
It's the same thing of like, if you have ears to hear, right? Then, and maybe many people have told you that over your life, but you completely weren't ready to receive it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so it's awareness. It is that pause 100%. And it is the ability to not feed it anymore. You have to starve the energy so it dissipates. Right.
Absolutely.
So starving the energy is, I'm not going to react. I'm going to pause. I'm going to calm myself down. And then that energy says, okay, well, I don't need to be here.
Yeah.
Because
well, that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know, what do you do now? Because we're all human. Something makes you mad. What do you do?
Like I say, become aware of it. Then I pause. And then what I usually do is walk away.
Yeah.
I'll do some breathing technique and like box breathing or whatever. And then, or I'll put it on pause and I'll get back to it. And if I need to have a conversation with an employee or whoever, I'm in the right frame of mind to where I'm not probably embarrassing myself again or apologizing again. So it's, definitely the pause, taking a break from it, coming back to it, and I have to address it. I'll address it in whatever which way. But definitely working on self before,
And then no, go ahead.
I just have a follow-up with that. How then are you seeing a difference in your employees and how they're relating to you?
Oh my God. Yeah. I always thought that you had to yell to get your point across, or act in a stern way, or whatever. Kitchens were different when I was coming up through them, and you were both servers. So 20 years ago, a kitchen was very it's not that they're not intense and insane, especially chefs. They're known for screaming, yelling to get their point across. And that it was sort of effective for me. It drove me, but then it made me who I am today. But today's, again, a different world, and a lot of people can't handle that or don't like that. So I've learned that, talking in a normal tone or asking, and a good one for me is like, I'll pull them aside, I'm really disappointed that you didn't do this for me. I thought you were going to do that, and it crumbles them, and I was disappointed, but it's better than F you. Why didn't I have to tell you to do that? Blah, blah, blah. Then the people go on defense and they're going to either quit or whatever. It definitely brings a more team building atmosphere, and everybody, and then by default, I see them acting like, sort of like me, you know what I mean? In situations that they need to.
Yeah. Well, there's also something like when you work for an employer that you respect and you get a task, most likely you're going to perform that task to your best and you're going to be proud to present, right? You're going to be like, okay, I did this for you. vice versa. If you absolutely can't stand that person because they demean you,
right,
and you get a task, you're probably going to half-ass it and maybe not even do it and say, "Oh, I forgot."
right, right.
You know, sorry, because that's just right.
Yeah.
It just
There's
goes back and forth. Yeah.
So many layers to it. And it's wonderful to be able to see the changes in others when you change yourself,
Right.
because they are reflecting differently. It's all about consciousness, right? So we're projecting out what is going on inside of us, in our patternings, our projection, and we are receiving who we are. Our world outside is a direct reflection of our world inside.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like contagious in that way, right? And what I was going to ask you was, what is the biggest thing that you discovered about yourself through your recovery? Something that you're like, man, I didn't even realize that I had this part of me was in there.
It's a tough one. Probably just that I'm a good person. Like, I'm okay with me today. That's like the biggest thing that blew my mind, because I always wanted to be somebody else.
Yeah, you talked about that.
And I think that's what led me down different paths. But I'm okay with me today. That's the biggest thing that I've got out of recovery. You know, I don't have to put on a show. I don't have to, you know what I mean, act, and I just be myself, and it's genuine, you know what I mean? And and people, I thought if I had to act a certain way for people to like me, but I just have to be. I put so much work into being somebody else that it was like such a waste of time when I just had to show up and be me, and everybody's likes me and drawn. I'm the person that I all wanted to be. I was that anyway. You know what I mean? Already.
Yes,
You know what I mean? I was that already.
That's,
you know what I mean? Like,
I'm not sure. That's huge.
So I was, everything has been inside of me since day one. And I've always had that whisper in the back of my ear, in many shapes and forms throughout my whole life. And even as a child, like even when, I would have questions about myself, or I'm trying to be somebody else, or trying to figure something out. I'd always have that, I don't know, conscious, whatever it was. It would be like, everything's inside you. You don't need anything else. And I'd always ignore that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm the person I always wanted to be. I was already it. So that's
That's so profound.
Which is pretty wild. And that goes, and here's the thing, that goes true for everybody.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
100%.
You know what I mean? So
allowing yourself to be vulnerable. I mean, that was going to be one of my questions to you was, do you think like doing this, talking, telling your story, being vulnerable is part of your healing?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I remember the press Post-Gazette did a story on me. I guess I was 3 years clean in the restaurant, and he asked me if he could talk about my, struggles with addiction and heroin. And I was really hesitant at first, and you know what I mean? But, Jen was like, I think it's time. You know what I mean? You need to be vulnerable. And if people don't like it, then they don't. And it got such a huge positive response, because the stigma there of, of an addict is just, and I own a business. I'm a couple of years into the business. Wow, are people not going to come? But it ended up being for the better, so, and I'm glad. I'm absolutely glad I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is the thing that people really struggle with, is sharing the dark parts.
Right.
Because we have been programmed to only show the good, right, to put on a front to some degree, to act accordingly the way society expects us to act. And we are, as we all know this, but just to say the obvious, there are, 4 or 5, I don't even know how many billion people are on this planet right now. Every single one is unique in their own right. Every single one of us has a unique essence. And every single one of our unique essences is vital for the whole. And so when we show up fully, completely ourselves, loving ourselves just the way we are, and trusting that we matter and that we're worthy changes the whole game. Because don't get us,
Absolutely.
we know this is a game. We know this is a play of light and shadows. We know this isn't our true home. We know that this is a planet of learning and growth and a beautiful opportunity to grow tremendously as a consciousness, because we have contracted so much of our soul has come into this human form. A very small, actually, piece of our soul is in this human form. Our soul is massive, as we know. And so when we can really, truly show up as our authentic selves and be the person that we are here to be, it creates more of the beautiful orchestra that is happening on this planet to be more seamless. Because your part is vital to the whole. And it's easy to feel insignificant when you look up at the sky and when we're seeing more and more of the universe appearing from the Webb telescope, and we're saying, wow, how insignificant are we? No, even though we're a speck of sand, we are an important speck of sand. And our actions, thoughts, and emotions all make a difference. And so you showing up as who you really are and feeling that self-love and being fully you is what we all need. We need you to be you. And it's so beautiful to witness you as you, Frank, and not like needing to put on any kind of show or because we love you no matter where you are on your path, and no matter what has been happening in your life, you are a beautiful soul. So I'm
Thank
just
you.
so grateful that you stepped into your authenticity.
I know. And the reach that you have in the community. I mean, talk about your yoga, the Pittsburgh yoga, what you do.
Oh, Yoga Recovery Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's a nonprofit that Angelica and Danielle started. She's a co-owner at Yoga Factory, and I consider she's a mentor, very good friend of mine, and also Jen's as well. Jen, we get Reiki done by her as well, therapy, and Jen's just got asked to be on the board as well, so she's super excited about that. I lost my train of talk about Yoga Recovery. She has a lot of service, so it meets bi-monthly for anybody in the recovery community. They have a meeting, a little asana, meditation, and then a group talk. And then she also offers her Reiki and personal one-on-one therapy as well through the nonprofit. So it has grown. Obviously, not we all want to grow as much as we can, but it's grown significantly the past couple of years since we started it. Yeah. And it's an honor to be on and be asked to be on a board of directors for a nonprofit, to me, blows my mind, as well as just coming from very honored and grateful. You know what I mean? It just, I always pinch myself, like today at the restaurant, the dining room, we were busy, and I'm just like, oh, sorry about this.
That's all right. Busy man.
Sorry. Hopefully be able to edit that out. But yeah, so, and it's just like people enjoying the food, employees doing their thing. It's just like, wow, look what I created, and it's pretty cool. Just grateful, because I technically, by whatever, I shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? Between the overdoses and trying to kill myself, I'm very grateful every day. And like I said, sometimes, and I think before we got on, it's just like, how dare you be down in the dumps, or when you've been given a great life, and even the challenges are you should be grateful for them as well.
Well, yes, and you still have an array of an emotion to experience, and it's okay to feel all the things, right? And that just, and it also is I always find so miraculous when people don't, they don't leave the body even if they want to, right? It's not going to be your time until it's your time.
Oh, right.
And you surviving those overdoses, I know for you, has to say, okay, the divine does not want me to leave yet. I'm
Oh,
here for a
absolutely.
purpose,
Yeah.
and I'm not going anywhere till it's my time. And I'm going to do the best I can with the time I have to grow and to experience and to share your light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing is to share and show people that anything is possible, especially you know, if you're suffering from an addiction, and you know, you could be and do anything.
Yeah. What advice do you have for someone that's in recovery and they feel like they lost their sense of purpose?
First of all, get the treatment. The treatment's out there. Go and give yourself the break and go away to rehab. That's number one. There's a lot of programs out there now, and we're very blessed. You know, more and more our facilities are opening and treatment is available. But just pray, constant prayer, and you know, give yourself a break. You know, you beat yourself up the entire time that you're out there running, and just a lot of prayer. That was huge in the beginning. It still is. It's extremely vital. I pray so much. It's just second nature to me now. But yeah, treatment, give yourself a break, pray, and you know, and just, I guess, follow the signs. I said, if you stay in the present moment, there's always going to be a revealing of what to do next. You know, you should try to bring myself into the present moment, and the answers in the present moment and within yourself.
Yeah. A little bit of it, going a little deeper. What advice do you give to someone listening who is very firsthand dealing with an addict in their life that they love?
Realize it's not your fault. You had nothing to do with it. Like my mom and dad always, you know, were busted up about, oh, what did I do? And it has nothing to do with the loved one. It's all internal of what the addict is going through. You did nothing wrong. You know what I mean? One thing I can say is, and this is going to be very hard for mothers and fathers out there, you got to cut them completely out. It was very hard for my parents to do, but I kind of wish they would have did that sooner. But I mean, this is the way the cards are dealt. But you need to cut all ties, and unfortunately, I mean, it's going to go either way.
Yeah.
That's the sad part of it, but that's the best thing you can do for the loved one.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how hard it was for my parents to do, and parents out there, because I see a neighbor is struggling in the mother, and they're very enabling, and I hate to say it, they're killing them. You know what I mean? I hate to say that, but it's the truth, and it's the reality of it.
Yeah. And I don't know if you remember this. So I have a past with an ex-husband who became a drug addict. And I came home to Pittsburgh and I asked Frankie if I could go to a Narcotics Anonymous meeting with him. And I went because I wanted to listen to them talk. And the number one thing that I got from that was, doesn't matter how much he loves you, he will steal from you. He will steal from your children. He will hurt you if he has to. He will do anything he can to get a fix. And you have to get away because then he has a choice, which, again, for my situation, didn't turn out well, but it did because my life is beautiful and I got myself and my children away from danger, and obviously someone who didn't want to get better. So I would still be living that horror to this day, which is like 20 years later. Yeah. So, that is, I would say, I'm going to share that with Frankie, and Frankie, thanks to Frankie, I got that advice through his situation myself. So good advice to moms and dads, good advice to spouses.
Yeah, it's difficult. It is, and then the ball's in their court, and hopefully they choose correctly.
Yeah.
Because the help is there. A lot of, what's an addict that opens their mouth? How can you tell they're lying? They open their mouth. That's the old adage. But there's help out there, because I have a few employees, like, they're messed up. Hey, I got you a bed. Go to treatment. blah, blah, blah. You got your job. I'm fine. You don't know what it's like. And I'm like, I don't know what it's like. Okay. But, you know, they just, people don't want the help. That's a big thing
They-
too, which stinks
Right.
is like, a lot of people don't want the help.
Yeah.
And it's
that's
you know,
okay. It's their choice.
it
And
is, and
that's
it's their choice and not their time. But
Mhm.
But it's not your responsibility to live that with them.
no, absolutely not. You know,
Yeah.
like I said, as difficult as you know, it might sound harsh, but that's the best way you could love them, is completely cutting them off.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Codependent no more. Because it's
Yeah.
codependency. And there are some great resources out there to learn more about that. Yeah, going to NA, going to AA, going to Al-Anon, you know, as a loved one, and really working with that detachment. It's very difficult. Yeah. It was one of my internships in grad school was with it was called Sunlight of the Spirit, and they worked with families in recovery. So we got to be a part of that for quite a while, and see and hear parents' grievances and challenges of like, how can I just leave my kid on the road, on the street? And I can't even imagine making that choice, but it is the best choice. As hard as it is, it's the best thing you can do for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So thank goodness, thank God that you have chosen to get your help. And now, how long have you been sober now, Frankie?
A little over 11 years. May 4th of 14 is my clean date. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. It is.
Mm-hmm. Do you still go to meetings?
I do not. Ever since I found yoga and got more intense to that, my meeting attendance has declined. Jen still goes almost daily. I do go when she has anniversaries coming up, or every once in a while I'll go. Yeah, but I mostly do yoga and the meditation. It works out better for me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, not that, but the 12 step, and that's another thing. Don't think because I don't go that the 12-step NA program didn't help my life. It was very detrimental in the beginning of my recovery, and I still apply the principles on a daily basis. I just don't, choose to go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Right.
another
So
get involved in a recovery program as well.
Oh yeah.
When you're,
Yeah.
as much support as possible.
yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the help is there. Ask for help.
Don't be
embarrassed.
No.
That was my mistake for years as a wife of an addict, is I was embarrassed. So I kept it a secret because I was embarrassed.
Right.
And I did it. I thought, well, I can help him in private. This is embarrassing. What will people think?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so until I needed safety, and people were close to me were like, wait, what? Why did you not ask for help? Biggest mistake. Ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
People want to help. It's in the nature of the kind
It's a human being. Yeah. I mean, we are, if anybody has any empathy or compassion, I mean, the human race.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a human, why wouldn't we want to help?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I have to say, go ahead.
No, I forget. It slipped my mind. Go ahead. I forgot.
Well, I just want to say, being your sister and watching you go through all this over the years, Susie, I begged you to get help. I knew, and I just have to say that don't know that until someone's ready, you cannot make them change.
I mean, I think it was even more than. Yeah, even more than that. My final therapist in Los Angeles, I wasn't allowed to leave my house without permission. I was only allowed to go to work and back. And so the hours were watched. And so I had Jenny set up and paid for a therapist that I could hit on my way to work and just say that was my starting time.
Oh, wow.
Right.
And that was the final straw. That therapist, was the one to really
give you the nudge,
shake me and say, so yeah. We gotta do
sometimes That's the other important part here is sometimes people need an outside voice outside of their family to listen, because it wasn't going to happen through me. I tried for 15 years pretty much to get you out of that situation, but you weren't, that wasn't time, and you needed someone else to tell you to really let it sink in. That's very common. And so that's the other part. Whoever's listening and has a family member or knows someone who's an addict or is an addict themselves or is going through something like this, don't beat yourself up if you're like, I'm trying, it's not working. It's not, you can't make them go faster. It has to come from them. And so letting that go, not saying that you should stop trying to help them, but don't put it on you, because I know I had to like let go and say, it's out of my control. I can't make her leave. I can't make her see what she doesn't want to see yet. And so I had to it was difficult, because you don't want to see your loved ones suffer, whether they're an addict or they're in a situation with an addict. You don't want to see them suffer. And yet there's nothing you can do about it until and unless they're ready. And as soon as you were, I mean, obviously we were on it like,
well, I don't think I was ever ready. I had to escape. I mean, I was ready. I didn't escape saying, oh, I wish I didn't have to go. This is fun.
you were ready.
But yeah, I unfortunately, it took way too long. Kind of like you had hit rock bottom. I hit rock bottom. Then things start to, your eyes start to open up, and you're like, what the heck? My eyes see the world differently now. What was I thinking? And then you're looking at everybody who's been looking at you, and you're like, hey, I see it now. And they're like, good for you. We've been telling you for 20 years.
You know, it's timing. And this goes to the acceptance on the part of the person trying to help, right? Of what is difficult to do. But accepting, okay, this is where they are. This is what they're choosing. There's nothing I can do about it. I can love and support them however they'll allow me to, but I have to let go, because one can bring other people down with them, right? And so it's really powerful to pray for them, soften, and say, they're going to figure it out when they're ready. And I'm here when they're ready to figure it out, but I can't push it.
Yeah.
So there's all kind of ways of being addicted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just right.
Sure. For sure. Absolutely. I'm a testament to that. 100%. Yeah, absolutely. And let's go back to, let's have a little fun here for a minute, and then we'll circle back around with a little more. But I'm just wondering if there is a certain dish that you make that brings you the most joy. Like, I love cooking this.
Probably the pappardelle bolognese sauce, because it takes a lot of time and effort, and takes about a 3-4 hour process, and it's super involved, and it's not just like a lot of places out there will just crush up a meatball and put marinara sauce on it and call it their meat sauce. You know what I mean? We have the whole cooking process with the pork, veal, ground beef, short ribs, pancetta, the whole deal, and it takes about 3 to 4 hours, and just the time and attention and the love you put into it, and then just putting that out. I think that's my favorite to do.
Yeah. And what is one dish at the restaurant that people have to try once?
The bolognese, for sure. No, the bolognese sauce or the mozzarella pomodoro. We make the mozzarella in house.
It's the best. Yeah. And if you are in the Pittsburgh area, I'm gonna do a commercial. Or if you plan on visiting the Pittsburgh area, don't walk, run to Cucina Vitale. It's so true, you guys.
Yeah,
it's so true. And I know that my husband can hear me right now, wherever he may be. And if he's hearing the word bolognese and Frankie's sauce right now, we're going to be at the restaurant tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, you know what it was that I always feel like I feel so blessed that we were able to yummy and nosh on Frankie's food throughout our life. You know, he would come over and cook sometimes. You know, the thing that stands out to me are the crab cakes, because
That's a big one too. Yeah.
Do you have that on your menu?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Crab cake?
Yeah, that's one of the bigger
I
sellers
haven't
too.
been there in a minute since I don't live there.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Yeah, for sure, have them on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about. I just love this. People ask, what do you do so special? It's just we put love into everything, you know, and it shines through the food for sure.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And so, I want to ask you about that real quick with your restaurant. And I know you mentioned, I believe I heard this from Susie, that you do a meditation or a prayer with everyone, or something happens. How do you infuse spirituality into your restaurant?
I do that personally.
Do you know what I'm talking
about? So my handbook, I have oh my God.
Anyone who has worked in a restaurant, imagine this being your handbook. Should be.
I have it infused in the handbook. The 7. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank of not Bikram yoga, Bhakti yoga. The 7 pillars of Bhakti. I infuse them into the employee handbook.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And I got a good response, like when we did sit down and like they did, were like, oh, this is pretty cool, you know what I mean? And they don't even see the power and deeper meaning behind it, which I was in like, not embarrassed, but I'm like, should I put this in? And my heart's like, yeah, just put it in. Why not? And like, you know, so yeah. So it's been, I mean, and I obviously strive for those. You know, and I told them that, like, it basically sets up a perfect life. You know what I mean? It's just to strive towards that. You know, you know, one is, you know, you admit when you're wrong and admit it. And the funny thing, admit when you're wrong and apologize right away. But what's funny is the yoga is so tied into the 12 steps. You know, the yoga philosophy of recovery. It's crazy, the similarities. So I'm sure that's why I was drawn into it as well. But yeah.
Wow. So I think it's time for rapid fire questions.
Yes.
This is for fun.
Okay.
All right, Frankie. Pizza or pasta?
Pasta.
Morning yoga or evening yoga?
Morning.
Espresso or cappuccino?
Espresso.
Do you have a Starbucks order you'd like to share with us?
Double or quad espresso on ice in a tall cup.
Isn't that so funny how we all have our like perfect little Starbucks order? Okay, what's your go-to comfort food?
Meatloaf.
Oh,
yes.
You probably make a sick meatloaf.
I do. My mom makes the best. She taught Jen too, so Jen made it.
You probably don't have a layer of ketchup on.
I prefer not.
You know that Pittsburgh meatloaf, there's a layer of ketchup on top. Yeah. Love Pittsburgh though, you know. Okay. Most used spice in your kitchen?
Garlic.
Garlic. Do you use garlic powder ever? Or is it always the cloves?
We do use powder. Yeah. Yeah. In the like the zucchini flour breading that we fry the zucchini with, we use powdered garlic in that.
Okay. If you weren't a chef, what would you be doing?
What would I be doing? That's a stumper. A yogi in the Himalayas, probably.
Oh,
yeah.
I could see that.
Some ashram, maybe.
I could see that. Oh, I already asked you about one Cucina Vitale dish that you must try. You said it's the
bolognese, the mozzarella pomodoro appetizer, and for sure the crab cakes, like Jenny mentioned.
Meditation soundtrack, silence or music?
50-50.
Oh.
50-50, yeah. Because I think their soundtracks are fabulous, but I believe everybody needs to get into that silence. You know what I mean? Not be reliant on the sound. So
I want to hear your answer to that one.
Totally.
The
50-50?
Silence.
Oh, your
silence.
Oh, got you.
I mean, I used to teach with music all the time for years. And then it came this point where I thought I'm infusing emotion into people by playing music. I'm creating a certain energy, and I don't want to do that. they need to create their own and feel what's going on for them without some external noise. So
Right.
I haven't taught with music in decades, probably.
And reason why I say 50-50 is because you don't want the meditator to rely on, like, every time they meditate, they have to have the music. You want it to you want it to be quite opposite.
Yeah.
Right, Jenny? You would want to
Right.
sit
Well,
in
the
the
whole
silence.
point of meditation is to, as Yogananda says, shut off the friends' telephones and go inward and upward. So
Right.
if music is going to pull you out of yourself,
Yeah, I have
definitely
to say that I like both.
Mhm.
I like
Yeah.
both. As much as I'm getting into this, I just took a bath before Frankie arrived, and I had the music on. Reed even knocked on the door, and I was like, "I'm back, baby." He heard the music, and he left me alone. Like, yeah. So it just depends. Like, I love music, so I appreciate having the times where there's music for sure, for sure.
Well, music
Okay.
is beautiful, and that's just music
Yeah,
is different than yoga and meditation.
Yeah, it's more of a calming than it is like a going inward, maybe.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Red sauce or white sauce?
Love red all day. Yeah, red sauce all day.
Do you have white sauce on your menu?
We have a
Just like
smoked pecorino pancetta cream sauce with black truffle ricotta and gnocchi that we make. I just added that when we moved up to Foster Plaza.
Don't talk like that in my house.
So yeah, that's a huge seller now too. But yeah, that's the only
Description?
that's the only cream sauce we have. Then we'll run specials with cream sauces, and we'll do tomato basil cream. I might add a tomato basil cream to the menu. The reason why I don't have a lot of cream sauces on there is everybody has.
I'm not a huge fan of. I
think maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm biased too. Like, I don't like too many cream sauces, and well, that's why I don't have it on the menu. But we do. If someone asks, we more than happily make Alfredo or the tomato basil cream. So
yeah,
we'll do it for whoever. Yeah.
One word. You can make it more than one word to describe your journey so far.
I can do one word, I think. Wait. Insane, powerful. So that's 3 words.
Powerfully
Yeah, no,
insane.
that's it. It could be
insane but powerful.
Insanely powerful.
Insanely powerful, yeah. But calm in the same breath. Does that make sense?
A beautiful chaos. Didn't we have that recently? We heard that beautiful chaos. I feel like maybe Melinda described the way in which the world is today. I think her description was a beautiful chaos.
Yeah. So yeah, it's insane and powerful. Like, insanely powerful. Like we said, it's been calm on the back end of it. More so, you know what I mean? The insanity was in the beginning and broke through to calmness and power.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay. Thought we've been to this whole hour. You can go further.
Well, yeah, this is kind of a big one, right? If you could leave our listeners with one message today, it does not have to be one word. You could go on for 10 minutes. If you could leave everyone with one message today, what do you want people to hear from you?
I want everybody to hear from me and know that they have the power within themselves to be or do anything. And I think that, my whole life I thought that the restaurant was my calling, which it partially is, but I went through what I went through, and the success I have today is to show everybody that, with perseverance and hard work, dedication, God, prayer, yoga, and a strong support system, that you could be and do anything, whether it be whatever you want to open up a lawn business or, impact everybody's life. You can do it. I'm living proof, the adversity I beat, I always knew deep in my heart, like, I'm going to find a way. And, so
And you never gave up on yourself.
Never gave up. Never give up. I refuse, like, just the jump to from having a small restaurant to this bigger establishment. A lot of people, yeah, they counted me out. They didn't think I could do it, and I knew I can. But I also too, with me, like, even in the beginning, my grandfather gave me my start at the South Side. He backed me, and we get emotional.
It's okay.
But because my pet was my best friend.
Oh yeah,
my buddy.
He was amazing,
Amazing human. But I had a year clean, and I had the business plan ready. Like, in the way it lined up, he was like, the owner came to me months before and was like, "Hey, would you want to buy this?" And I'm like, "I want 6 months clean," or if there was like 3 months clean at the time. I said, "Are you out of your mind? Nobody's going to lend me $5, let alone, you know what I mean? I'm going to money for a restaurant." But something in me said, start the business plan. And months later, my pap was like, "Hey, would you ever think about owning a small place like this?" And I said, "Actually, I have a business plan." He's like, "Well, when it's finished, we'll sit down." And I'll never forget, it was at my house, and on a Sunday fitting, and showed him the business plan, and he said, "Okay, let's do it." And I said to him, "Are you fucking crazy?" I had a year clean. I said, with my past, I took money off you before. I owe you money, and like all the damage I did. And he said, "I believe in you. It's your plan. I'll go get it." And I took that to heart, and excuse me, I vowed from that point forward that nothing was going to get in my way. And if something did, I'd either go around it or through it. And if there wasn't a way, I was going to make it. And I still think about that today. That's why I knew I was going to do well at Foster Plaza, no matter who's the naysayers, like, "How are you doing it?" Whatever. But they don't know they have that fire in me. And by them saying that I couldn't do it, guess what? I'm going to do it. Like, anybody that tells me otherwise, if I have something in my mind,
I was just going to say,
me. If I have something that I am going to do, I'm going to do it. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to do it. So, but yeah, that was quite amazing. Him saying that gave me the power to be where I'm at today. Like, he just, that one person believing in me, but I had a few believe in me. But at that time, like, I thought he was literally crazy. Like, "You're giving me this money. I have barely a year clean, and like, I did all this damage in the past," and like, it was quite amazing. And just to have that faith in me is what I needed to
the power of one conversation
accelerate me to where I'm at today. And yeah, if you come to the restaurant, you'll see pictures of him with me, and they're my prized possessions. He was my best friend.
Yeah, he was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Lived in 97. So, yeah.
97.
I think you've met him too, Jenny. I believe so. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. But Susie's met him.
What year did he leave?
He left, that would have been 19. Right before, 2019, December 28th.
Because I lived here. I came to his funeral, yeah.
December 28th, 2019. Yeah, because we were, wait, or was it 18? No, it was 18 because, it was 2018. Yeah, because he got to see a few years of the restaurant, and we just shortly after we expanded upstairs. And then how fitting is this? Tell me this isn't him from beyond. He had a barbershop in the plaza, in Foster Plaza, for 32 years of where we're at. So like where we're at in Foster Plaza in its separate building. So how like it's been lined up. Like, tell me he didn't, Yeah. And I was battling I was battling, and this is insane even too, another sign. And people probably think full of shit, but
no.
You guys won't. But so Carmen, who's the head of Foster Plaza, came down on my grandfather's birthday and pitched it to me of wanting to come up off the Plaza. November. I looked back in the reservations, 11/28 of, I forget, whatever it was, 2 years ago, and was like, "Hey, would you ever think about?" And I'm like, thought he was BSing me, and then he was like, I was like, and then it just, intrigued me, and like, yeah. So like, and I was wondering, and I was in a battle of, do I open up another location? Do I expand? Do I keep this one? And then I remember like saying to Jen, like, I'm just letting it go. It's going to come. And then it was like a couple months later, and I was like, it's perhaps birthday. He can't, you know what I mean? And I didn't realize that until like months later. So yeah. And then it's so cool to be back in our neighborhood. You know what I mean? Being able to cook for people, and we live so close. And
Yeah.
just the history of the Vitale name being there. And it was so cute. This lady, I guess he had a barbershop in Elliott originally.
Okay.
Because he knew your grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to call him the pigeon jockey. Did you hear that? The pigeon jockey, he used to call him? Biggie, right?
Biggie the pigeon jockey.
So this lady, I guess, had a hair salon next to him. She was 103 at the restaurant the other day. And she's like, "Let me see you." She goes, "Oh my God, you look like Frank Vitale. Are you related?" I was like, "Yeah, that's my grandfather." She's like, "Oh my God. I used to have 100." I was like, "You are the most amazing person I've ever met." And she was just full of life. And it was just, I'm like, 100, what is going on? But yeah, that was so cool to see, like, yeah.
Wow.
The synchronicities of life are always there if you but pay attention.
You have to pay attention, and that's why I work so hard on coming. I have notifications on my phone come back to the present moment, because that's where
a great idea.
Because that's where it lies. Like everything, every answer's there. If you just stop, become present, and just, the answer's there, whether it comes from you or the synchronicity from, because we're so caught up in the past, worried about the future in the past, when the present moment's where it's at.
That's all we have.
That's all we have.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we have. And then that's all we have. It's there constantly. But it's so difficult.
Time is now.
It's so difficult, but it's practice. It's like anything, it's building a muscle.
Mm-hmm. You have to be aware, and you have to want to do it. Mm-hmm. All of that good stuff. Wow.
Yeah.
So
thank you for sharing.
Yes. No, thank you for
sharing everything.
I'm excited for people to hear my message, to get it out further, and happy for you guys with this podcast. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. It's fun.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So everyone listening, thank you for joining us for this 2-part episode. It was a milestone for us. We did a 2-part episode. We have someone I can actually hug in the studio, and we are really honored to share Frankie's story, because it's giving so much hope and love to everyone. And he's constantly out there trying to reach the community, and this is just another way. So we thank you so much for sharing it with everyone. And Jenny, I love you.
Love you both so much. And I'm with you right there. And I love you for all the work both of you are doing in the world. You're both doing tremendous work in the world, shining your light, being in your truth, being authentically you. And I just, absolutely adore you both so much. So all is well.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Sister Sessions. During the episode, Frankie wanted to mention the nonprofit him and his wife Jen have started, called Harvest of Hope Pittsburgh. They make and deliver Thanksgiving dinners to needy families and have plans on expanding their services. If you would like to donate or volunteer your time, please contact them via their website, www.cucinavitalepgh.com, or shoot them an email at info at kuginavitalepgh.com. In the meantime, please remember, meditation is the key to unlocking your inner peace. Namaste.